This is my audience.
These small worthless circles can be found everywhere. On the street, in couches, in car cup holders, and even in jacket pockets. No American can escape the penny. But did you know that pennies are actually more than what they're worth? The question has sparked debate and has pinned groups of people against each other. The group of people have been commonly named citizens to retire the U.S. penny and Americans for common sense. And they've been battling out for a while now. As a person who works as a cashier, I know that pennies are just a hassle to work with, and it would be easier if we just retire them. And I'll gladly give you solid reasons as to why. I know one of the things you must be thinking. The penny is sentimental, and it'd be impossible to retire. Well, as a person whose car cup holder is filled to the brim with these things, I promise you that they're not too hard to come across. Think back to all the possible places that I said earlier where pennies could be found. Well, there are so many other places where pennies are just hiding. Trust me, just because we stop making pennies doesn't mean they're just going to fall off the face of the earth. They've been around longer than most of us, and will more than likely still be here when we're gone. The second thing I bet you're thinking is, why should I care? This is boring. Well, I'll tell you why you should care. According to Time for Kids, the penny started being more than what it's worth way back in 2006. In 2006, the penny began to take 1.23 cents to make. Now, if you start to do the math, revenues would exceed by $20 million. And that's absolutely crazy. That money could go towards getting this country out of debt, instead of just going towards worthless change. And that amount has only risen since 2006. We're actually losing money when it comes to making a 1-cent penny, and that's why you should care. At this point, both sides of the debate have farly exceeded making up myths, so it's become difficult to sort out the truths and the lies. But instead of looking at the myths and the argumentative side of the debate, let's look at the facts. The penny is absolutely worthless in the year 2017. Nothing costs just 1 penny anymore. Vending machines, toll booths, and parking meters refuse to take these things. This isn't the 50s anymore, where you can just walk into a candy store and buy little pieces of candy for 1 penny. Nowadays, a little pack of gum still costs as much or more than 50 cents. No matter how many people want to hold on to the penny, you can't argue with the fact that they can't buy anything anymore. While the American for Common Sense argue with the fact that they do keep prices lower, pennies are just a complete hassle to carry around. I've gotten to the point where I can only use 1 cup holder in my car because the other one is just completely filled with pennies that I won't even use. They just weigh down pockets and end up costing more time in line at stores. Technically, no one even gives exact change anymore. There are just some people who just listen to the amount of change so that they can give $1 more and receive change that they'll never even use, only if it has a quarter or a dime or a nickel. The pennies will just end up lost change and end up on the floorboards or in pockets for months until you finally lose the darn things. One thing that the Americans for Common Sense won't ever tell you is that making the penny is actually harmful to the environment. This world that people are working so hard to keep by recycling, planting trees in gardens, and riding bikes everywhere is actually being harmed to make this useless piece of change. Contrary to popular belief, the penny is actually more zinc than copper. And pennies actually come from zinc mines. Zinc can actually be dangerous to animals and humans when administered in high doses. Pennies take up so much manpower to end up in sewer drains and on sidewalks. And the production of the penny actually puts 1.5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every year. In the end, pennies really have no good use to continue in American money circulation and should be discontinued. No matter how many crazy arguments that the American for Common Sense will bring to the table, it's obvious to the fact that the penny should just be retired as soon as possible. People should care more about this cause. With more people's help, the penny could be permanently retired, just like the half penny. Nothing good can come from pennies anymore, and it would just be good to end the production altogether.